Hey everyone, welcome to the video going over my cheat sheet for tomorrow night's race at Daytona International Speedways, the Coke 0400. I am very excited. I love Daytona races, so I'm very excited to get into this. But anyway, before we continue, if you could leave a like, subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate that. You can also follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. And if you want access to this cheat sheet, a target page, which although I can't do a target page this week because it's just Daytona, the way Daytona is, I can't really do a target sheet, really. But I will have my GPP driver exposures, last year's winning lineup on there. I do have all the practice that in there, but I already have that on the cheat sheet. And I did add some extra stuff to the cheat sheet. So I do have the car number now, the car make, and the team, because some of you asked for that. And I do have projections and their value on the very far right of this cheat sheet, but I'm not. That's only for Patreon members only. And I did read an article already, so I'm gonna post the article right after I'm done with this video. So if you want access to all that stuff, you can hit the link in the description below, and then it's gonna take you here. And you can get access to all my spreadsheets and other extra content. So for UFC, it's the biggest card of the year, so I'm hearing. I'm not the one who really covers UFC. I just do the projections and make the cheat sheet look pretty with all the colors and whatnot. But yeah, it's all Andrew, so I'd recommend getting on UFC. He's been awesome this year. We actually had a guy won 6K last week in UFC just based off of Andrew's favorite plays and stuff. So the UFC's been hot. I think his example cash line is cashing near 90% this season, which is absolutely insane. So I did tell him I already jinxed him by saying that. So I apologize in advance, but he's been on fire. Then we have golf, NASCAR, which I was just telling you guys about. You get all that content. And then we have MLB, which has a lot of stuff on there for those of you who are subscribed for MLB, and then All Access. For NFL, I'm going to keep that price the same once NFL starts, so you're going to need even better value with that. I'm already prepping my NFL sheet. Very excited for NFL. All right, so anyway, that's enough. This will be in the link in the description below if you are interested, and you can also get access to a Slack chat, so you can ask me questions throughout the day. It's just the easiest way to get a hold of me, because I just pause up on my phone, I can chat away. So anyway, enough plugging in commercial time. Let's get into the cheat sheet, because that's why you guys are here. So really, not a lot of visuals in this video because it's mostly a strategy-driven track, so you're just going to have to listen to me talk, so I apologize, but alright, so anyway, track info for this race. We are at Daytona International Speedway, and it's 2.5 miles in length, and we have 168 laps, and we have only 126 Dominator points available, so that's not going to make Dominators important whatsoever at this track. It's something you want to avoid. Some quick tips before we get into the deep strategy dive. Practice does not matter at all. I know I have the practice times on here listed, but it's no factor whatsoever to me. We're going to want to stack the back, avoid the front, and we're going to leave salary on the table. Sometimes I even leave 10K salary left. And last year's winning lineup did have, I believe, I want to say it was like 9,000 salary left. So we want to leave salary on the table. And lineup construction for me is going to look like 0 to 1 guys in the top 10. They're very risky if you start someone in the top 10. 0 to 1 guys in the top 15. 0 to 2 guys in the 20s, and 3 to 6 guys in the 30s, because that's where I'm going to want to live this week. And going into the deep strategy of this race. So really, this is not a track I can just simply give out picks for what the nature of how it plays out. This is the most strategy-driven track on the schedule, and one I've had some of the most success at in DFS. Reason being is half the field doesn't know what the heck they're doing at this track. They don't know how to construct lineups optimally. You're going to see Joey Logano 20% owned probably tomorrow, and that's just extremely risky. He's got to lead laps and win the race, which is extremely difficult to do at Daytona, and it's just chances are that's just not going to happen. So I'm going to want to avoid all those guys, even with their name value. You're going to have to put name value aside this weekend. And so yeah, so you see Daytona is a track where chaos happens. There's a ton of wrecks, and sometimes only half the field is left. This is because the cars are designed to run side-by-side drafting in packs here, and this causes very intense close racing. One little slip up with the car being turned can cause the whole entire field to wreck, especially if they're up front. They call this the big one, and so why is this important? Well, if half the cars are getting taken out at a moment's notice, and if they started up front, they're getting negative points, sometimes even like negative 30. So this is where my strategy kicks in. I love just stacking the back here at Daytona, no matter who it is, even BJ McLeod. I do have interest in BJ McLeod this week. And this is just because these guys hang out in the back and tend to avoid the wrecks, making them insanely safe plays with their place differential upside. Because, you know, they get in packs, and they're usually in the bottom pack, and then up front, if they crash, they could just move right on up, and it's awesome. So, and also with the drafting here, it makes all the cars nearly equal in speed. And the best thing is, if they crash, they're still going to outscore all the guys who wrecked out and they started up front. because the guys up front, they're going to get like negative 20 points, while these guys still get around 3 points. Like earlier in the season at Daytona 500, I had a whole bunch of Casey Mears, if I'm thinking correctly. He started 40th, and he is actually the first one to crash. He crashed out, finished 40th, but he still outscored a ton of guys. He got like 4 points still, and there's plenty of guys that went negative 20, even some negative 30. So that's just the optimal way to go. And as for dominator points, they are completely spread out through the entire race, and no one really dominates these races as it changes lap to lap. You're going to see guys moving up 10 spots in one lap, and then they'll fall back 10 spots, and it's just the way it goes. It's a really fun race to watch. And also, I want to mention, don't be afraid to leave salary on the table here. I left over 10K on this table before making lineups at Daytona, and like I said, the winning lineup last year had like 9K remaining. So don't be afraid of salary. You're going to want to really be different at this kind of track to have success. This is a track where you're going to want to have multiple lineups. I'd recommend playing the 20 max contest. And if you are doing cash games and single entries, just stack the entire back, because that's going to be the most safest way you can go. Because if people are going to be risky and play guys in the top 10 and they wreck, their lineups are going to sink. But if you're in the back, you're pretty much going to cash, because those guys have the highest floor available. And like I said, people don't know what they're doing at these tracks. So that's my strategy breakdown for the entire race. I'm sorry that was long-winded, but that's just the way to go at Daytona. I did have some of my core plays listed. They're just the guys starting way in the back. So I have Brendan Gaughan. He's actually one of my favorite plays, and he's actually priced up. He's not like priced in the scrub level, because he's pretty good at Daytona. So I like Gaughan, MDB, Ryan Preece, Matt Tiff, Michael McDowell, David Reagan, Parker Kligerman, Bubba Wallace, Corey LaJoie, Ross Chastain. I really like Chastain starting 38th. Landon Castle, not too really big on playing guys like Quinn Huff and Justin Haley, but I mean, they should be lower owned than most of the guys starting back here, so I'd get it for GPPs, obviously, but I'd probably want to have a little bit of ownership to them, but not really look into it. I'd rather play guys like BJ McLeod, JJ Yeley, and Joey Gase, which, gross, but he is starting 40th, so he actually technically is the safest play on the board, but hard to trust Joey Gase. But that's my core play. It's just all these scrubs in the back. And then if you want to take chances at guys in the 20s, I get it. It's just a little unsafer, but I mean, if you want to be different in GPPs, because there's going to be people that have the same exact strategy, and those of you guys who are watching my videos, you're probably going to be in the same contest anyway. So, but those are my favorite plays. Just want to be in the back, and that's the way you're going to want to live here. I'm going to be pretty much avoiding all the guys up here. Absolutely no one in the top 5 for me. I know the names are enticing, but you just can't do it. I'm just telling you guys. But anyway, guys, that's all I have for the video. I hope it was very helpful for you. This is a track that it's solely based on strategy, so you're going to want to have the right strategy here, and I think I gave it to you guys. So I wish you guys the best of luck, and I hope you guys enjoy the race. If you're watching, it should be a really fun race to watch. Expect some fireworks. And yeah, so before I get out of here, remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get to 1,100, and I wish you guys the best of luck. And the link for Patreon will be in the description below.